Welcome to BizJet TV. My name is Fabrizio and today we're going to be talking about biofuels, sustainability and private jets. You know, how dare you rich person flying around on your private jet and polluting the atmosphere. This is basically what the mainstream media is telling everybody. Most people out there think that these rich people flying around with their private jets are polluting the air, they're destroying the planet, they're evil. Just add another thing to the list about rich people being evil, when that's not the case. This is simply fake news, and this is what we're going to be talking about on this episode. So looking at the real facts about private aviation, what's actually really happening in the industry, looking at some of the numbers and some of the technology, and this is what this episode is about. So if you haven't subscribed to BizJet TV, this channel is all about private aviation and lots more, all about how the private jet is not a luxury item, as I call it, but it is a business tool, very valuable business tool, which can save you lots of time and money, and also is also sustainable technology, which you'll find out more about in this episode of BizJet TV. Let's get straight into it. So let's look at this whole sustainability issue and private jets, biofuels and that. So first of all, what is a biofuel? Now, a biofuel, or as it's called, a sustainable aviation fuel, is usually derived by either plants or by waste. So you're taking your rubbish, basically, or your garbage, as you call it in the States, and you're turning it into fuel. Or you're cutting the crops and turning the crops into fuel. So what they're doing is they're not, drilling down, which can cause all sorts of problems, as we know, ruining the planet by drilling down, and then ruining the planet by then pulling that liquid out of the ground and then putting it on an airplane, which will then pollute. So that's what a sustainable fuel, or SAF, as it's called, sustainable aviation fuel, is, and that's how it's developed. And there are different types of SAFs as well, which is interesting to look into. Now, 2% of worldwide CO2 emissions are actually caused by aviation, but aviation does contribute to about 3.5% of global warming. Now, if we look at the figures on private aviation only contributes to less than 0.1% of CO2 emissions. So those are the real figures. So, the private jets are flying around, aren't, polluting the air as much as, the mainstream media is sort of putting out there, and lots of people, environmentalists and that, attack all these multi-millionaires flying around in their private jets. How disgusting. Why don't they fly commercial, 2 people on a jet instead of 150? They could fly on a jet with 158 people. This is just ignorance on behalf of these people, and the purpose of this episode today is to sort of educate you on this, because I was talking to a gentleman just the other day who's looking to purchase a private jet, and he was a bit worried about the environmental impact of this airplane, because he has 2 daughters that are into the environment and whatever, and he just wants to make sure that he makes a conscious decision here. But if you look at the technology of the private jets, in particular the new ones, you notice a number of things. First of all, these jets fly faster than the airliners, so it takes you less time to get from A to B. The second thing is they fly a lot higher. So when you're flying a lot higher at 45,000 feet, you're above all the airline traffic. So consequently, you can get a lot of shortcuts, which is going to shorten your flight even more. And then you look at the technology and the engines, the aerodynamics, the avionics. All this new technology allows the airplane to pollute less than the big airliners. So that's something that not many people know. Now, we also see, for example, engine manufacturer Williams International just completed a test on their FJ44-4 engine, where they used 100% SAFs, sustainable aviation fuel, and that was successful. This engine is the engine that powers the Pilatus PC-24 jet, which is one of the very few jets that lands on grass on unpaved runways. It's a new aeroplane produced by Pilatus. You can check the video above I did about the PC-24. So if you buy yourself a PC-24, you're going to you can load it up with biofuel all the time, and biofuels reduce the CO2 emissions by 85%. So this is really, really interesting to see that this happening. We also see NetJets, which is one of the largest private jet operators in the world. They just purchased a 20% stake in a company called Waste Fuel. And what Waste Fuel does is they turn rubbish, or trash as you call it, into biofuel, which can be used by aircraft. So we're seeing, Some of the big private jet companies do that now. Also, most FBOs, FBO is a private jet terminal, a lot of them now are making available the biofuel option. So instead of fueling your jet up with Jet Alpha 1, you can fuel it up with the biofuel. And this is a decision that you can make. If you own your own jet, you can decide to only use biofuel, and also to land at those airports where biofuel is available. You can't do this if you're flying with the airlines. So you control the airplane a lot more, and so you can also control in a much better fashion, the carbon footprint that you or your business is putting out there as a result of flying around the world. Because flying around the world is necessary for business, for leisure, and that. So if you can do it more responsibly, and believe it or not, flying on your own private jet, in particular if it's newer technology, you can do that. But even if you have an older jet, if the older jet is certified to use biofuel, then if you've got an older Gulfstream G4 and it's certified for biofuel, just fuel up with biofuel. Of course, if you've got more modern aircraft like a Pilatus PC-24, because the engine's more modern, so it burns less fuel, certified for biofuels, the aerodynamics and everything of the airplane also allow it to burn less fuel, be more efficient, and that maybe fly a bit faster, fly a bit higher, where you can get those shortcuts. Now, the other thing that's being developed, and you've heard me talk about this a number of times, is eVTOLs, the electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. And there's a lot of projects, over 100 of them at the moment. You can click on the link above to have a look at some of those videos. And there's a lot of that being developed right now. And over the next 10 years, we're going to see a lot of this happen, where basically we can, develop these aircraft, fly with these electric aircraft around the cities initially, and then as soon as the range increases, then we'll be able to fly longer distance. And so that technology is being worked on at the moment. The other thing, before we close, if you haven't watched my video about the TR3B, which is trending right now, interestingly enough, this is a flying machine that a lot of people around the world have seen, and I was quite shocked at the comments below the video of the number of people around the world who have seen this. This has not been declared officially that this thing exists. Some people think it's from another planet. Other people think it's a secret government project of some sort. But check the TR3B video. Apparently this flying machine is very quiet. It doesn't use any, it uses anti-gravity technology apparently. And so it's, 100% environmental friendly. So whether this exists or not, I don't know, but it's an interesting episode to watch, so click on that video there about the TR3B. And that's all from me on this episode. If you haven't subscribed to BizJet TV, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel, and give us a thumbs up and comment below. I'd love to hear from you. What do you think about sustainability, biofuels and private jets? And that's all from Fabrizio on BizJet TV, and I'll see you on the next one.